wasn't freaking out about Pam Bondi at first until I saw MSNBC freaking out about Pam Bondi. And then I was totally on board.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
Yeah, and I want to discuss that with a little more depth with both of you, including her record.
I think we're done. We now have a dangerous and effective pick, even more so than what we would have gotten with Matt Gaetz and his deplorable moral background that he wanted to throw in there. But that's how the left is freaking out about Pam Bondi. They're right now going, oh my gosh, give me Matt Gaetz back, because they thought Matt Gaetz, okay, he's shocking, he's offensive. Matt Gaetz, he's totally hell bent on destroying the deep state and going after Donald Trump's political adversaries. But the elitists on the left felt that Matt Gaetz was inexperienced. They felt that he couldn't actually lead or manage the team at the Department of Justice, and that he would fail miserably in his task. And they were all just looking forward to that. Well, now they have Pam Bondi, who is a proven leader, a proven attorney general for a large state like Florida, someone who has gone in and changed the culture of a Justice Department, someone who has gone in and fought criminals and fought drug dealers and enacted laws and attacked these woke ideologies on college campuses. And now they're freaking out because she's dangerous and effective.
She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz.
And probably she will sail right through the Senate confirmation hearings because, as we know, Matt Gaetz was short by 4 or 5 votes. And I can't imagine that Donald Trump would make another decision like this without knowing that this one was going to go through. Because if you look at the two announcements, the one from President Trump and the one from Matt Gaetz, there's something very similar between the two. The two things that I noticed was they both mentioned time. They mentioned, especially Matt Gaetz, he said President Trump and J.D. Vance's DOJ has to be ready to go on day one, because President Trump doesn't have a lot of time. He's got 4 years. This is his second term. There is no 8 years of Donald Trump. Hopefully there'll be 4 years of Donald Trump and then 8 years of J.D. Vance or some other qualified MAGA conservative, but we don't know for sure. And with just 4 years to go, Donald Trump, it's tick-tock, man. From day one, as soon as he takes his hand off of that Bible, he needs everybody in place and ready to go so that they can start executing his agenda and making America great again. And it is every minute counts. Every minute, every hour, every day for the next 4 years. And really, it could be even less. Why? Well, there's midterm elections. And the midterm elections sometimes see a change of power, a shift, if you will, especially in the House of Representatives, where there's a slim majority right now by Republicans. And usually what we've seen in the past, what history has taught us, is the ruling party loses control of the House of Representatives in the midterm elections. And the midterm elections are 2 years away. So President Trump may only have 2 years to get some of his biggest puzzle pieces in place. He may only have 2 years to get some of his biggest pieces of legislation and his accomplishments and his desires rammed through Congress and the Senate, because in 2 years, there's going to be a brand new group of people in the House of Representatives, and we can't guarantee that they're all going to be on Donald Trump's side. I mean, hell, they're not now. There's so many rhinos in the Congress. There's so many centrists in Senate. I mean, that one of the reasons, and again, we can look at the negative side of this. We can look at the positive side of it. I like to look at John Fetterman's side of it, because John Fetterman is quickly becoming, he's quickly becoming my favorite Democrat. And that's a really short list. There's John Fetterman. I think that's it. I think the list includes John Fetterman. That's it. But John Fetterman is quickly becoming my favorite Democrat, because he was asked outside of the Capitol building what he felt about Matt Gaetz. What he felt about Matt Gaetz withdrawing his name from consideration. Here's John Fetterman talking to the media yesterday.
Holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Oh.
I mean, yes, he was the ultimate troll, and people have the opportunity, they can freak out over things and respond, and if you want to do that, you don't have to, you better pace yourself, though, because it's not even Thanksgiving, and we don't have to react and take unserious things so seriously that the world's going to spin off its axis the way it is right now. But I just heard something. I heard that Trump is going to issue a new silver dollar to commemorate that. So I think that's going to be the next cycle.
I love President Trump is going to release a brand new silver dollar to commemorate Matt Gaetz withdrawing. No, you know what he's doing? He's actually selling guitars. The American Eagle Guitar Series, limited edition, the only guitar officially endorsed by President Donald Trump, available in acoustic and or electric models. If you'd like the hand-signed version, add an additional $10,000 at checkout. So that's John Fetterman. John Fetterman has this sarcasm that I believe is missing in all of Congress. And he goes, look, you guys can't be freaking out about it. First of all, didn't we all see this coming?
Holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Oh.
And then also, you can't freak out about every little thing because it's not even Thanksgiving. We haven't even started the Trump administration. So Democrats, calm the you-know-what down. Calm the Fetterman down, is what John Fetterman's saying. And he kind of actually has a point. But anyway, back to Pam Bondi. So Matt Gaetz, and again, the way we heard, look, there's been multiple reports as to how this happened. There's been multiple reports about how this went down. And the consensus seems to be that Matt Gaetz went to, Senate. We all heard it. We saw him with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was escorting him around, and he went and he talked to Marsha Blackburn, and he went and he talked to, Tommy Tuberville. He went to talk to everybody. He had all these meetings, met with Mike Lee, and at the end of the day, he said, I thought it was productive. I'm optimistic. I think we're going to work through the process, and I just want a chance to be heard. I would just like a chance to make my, answer the questions. You guys have questions, no problem. I would like a chance to answer them. I would like my fair shot. And what we learned was that there were several Republicans who didn't want to give Matt Gaetz a fair shot. What we learned, President Trump, according to and again, I've heard it from multiple sources. So if you hear it from multiple sources, fine. Apparently what happened was President Trump was making phone calls himself, was talking to senators himself, realized there were more than three because we have a 53-seat majority. You've got J.D. Vance. You can only lose 3 senators if you hope to get somebody confirmed. And there were more than 3 senators who were dead set against Matt Gaetz. Whether it was the ethics investigation, whether it was the DOJ investigation, whether it was the fact that they just hated him, which probably it was all 3. Maybe he'd come out and attacked some of them in the past, which, let's be honest, he probably did. But, they couldn't set aside their personal feelings. They couldn't say, all right, for the good of the country, for the good of the administration, for the good of the DOJ, we will set aside our personal animus toward Matt Gaetz and our personal feelings, and we will confirm him, or we'll at least sit and listen to the guy. We'll at least sit down and we'll listen to the guy talk and we'll ask him some questions and we'll vet him like we're supposed to do. We will at least give him that courtesy. No, they were just telling Donald Trump, there's no way I'm ever voting for him. And President Trump realized he's not going to get the votes. And time is of the essence. Yes, recess appointments probably could have been a thing. Yes, there's other obscure laws that Donald Trump and his legal team could have investigated and tried to use to get whomever he wanted in his cabinet. But that takes time, and time, unfortunately, is the one thing that President Trump doesn't have, and the rhinos in the Senate know it. They know it's not the Democrats. The Democrats were going to vote against Matt Gaetz. No, there's always. It was never going to be an issue. It was always going to be 47 Democrats voting against Matt Gaetz, and the goal was to get every single Republican, or at least 51 of them, to vote for him. And now we already see that Donald Trump has enemies on his own team, and they're taking advantage of the one disadvantage President Trump has, and that he's a one-term president. He's going into a lame duck presidency. It won't be like any lame duck presidency you've ever seen. It's going to be a soaring eagle presidency, but it is still, in the eyes of a lot of these lawmakers, a lame duck presidency. And so they're going to take advantage of that by taking advantage of the fact that Donald Trump needs these people in place on day one. So that's the bad news. The good news is Pam Bondi's a solid pick. I mean, Pam Bondi, Even CNN had to come out and say Pam Bondi, MSNBC, in their own special way, gave her the seal of approval.
She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz.
You know, every time I play that, I just feel better and better about Pam Bondi being the being the head of the DOJ, being the Attorney General. The fact that MSNBC is just freaking out so much. Oh my God, she's worse than Matt Gaetz. Great. Start her tomorrow.